Imagine you're introducing two of your friends. You turn to one, your mind was completely blank. You start to sweat. You know what they do, where they live, but their name has completely vanished from your brain. You stumble, laugh nervously, and try to brush it off. You think it's just a clumsy little mistake, right? It's not. In that exact microsecond, you didn't just forget a word. You implicitly told that person, to me, you are a generic. You are completely unmemorable. You don't matter. If you consistently fail to remember the names of the people you meet, the waiter, the client, the acquaintance, you are actively sabotaging your reputations. You are building an invisible wall of resentment around yourself, and you will spend your whole life wondering why people don't go out of their way to help you. There is an exact reason why a poor, uneducated Scottish immigrant boy with no money managed to completely monopolize the steel industry in America and became one of the richest human beings to ever walk the earth. Andrew Carnegie wasn't a technical genius. He didn't know everything about making steel, but he discovered a psychological loophole about human behavior that allowed him to bend powerful politicians and massive corporations to his absolute will, all by using a tactic that Dale Carnegie warns us if we don't do, we are headed for straight trouble. Let's look how Andrew Carnegie used the identity anchor when he was just a kid in Scotland. What Andrew Carnegie figured out is something I call the identity anchor. See, we live in a world where everyone is screaming for attention. We try to impress people with our titles, our clothes, our accomplishments, but people don't care about your achievements. They care about themselves. When he was a boy, he got hold of a mother rabbit. Soon he had a whole nest of little rabbits, but absolutely nothing to feed them. He didn't have money for food, so he called a meeting with the neighborhood kids. He told them, if you go out and collect enough clover and dandelions to feed this rabbit, I will name the baby rabbits after you. Now, it sounds so simple, it's almost silly, but it worked like absolute magic. The kids spent hours working for him for free just to hear their names attached to something. He never forgot that lesson. Decades later, when he was trying to sell steel rails to the Pennsylvania Railroad, which was run by a powerful man named J. Edgar Thompson, Carnegie didn't just slash his prices or beg for the contract. He built a massive, state-of-the-art steel mill in Pittsburgh and named it the Edgar Thompson Steel Works. When the president of the railroad saw a giant monument to his own name, where do you think he bought his steel rails from? Right. Carnegie literally purchased loyalty by honoring the identity. Now, let's be completely honest with each other here. Every time someone tells you, hey, remembering names is important, your immediate internal excuse is, but I'm just bad with names. I hear a name and 2 seconds later, it's completely telling yourself that lie. You aren't bad with names, you are just lazy with your focus. When you meet someone new, you are usually so busy thinking about what you are going to say next, so you'll say how you look that you don't even let their names hit your conscious brain. You treat their identities like background noise. To break this, you need to use what Dale Carnegie observed in successful politicians, the phonetic stamp. He talks about Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt knew that one of the simplest, most powerful ways to gain goodwill from his staff and workers was to remember their names, even if he only met them once per 5 minutes. How did he do it? How do busy people do it? The moment they say their name, actively block out all other thoughts. If you didn't hear it clearly, do not ignore it. Say, "I'm sorry, I didn't quite catch that. How do you spell it?" During the chat, the immediate loop. Use the name naturally within the first 10 seconds of the conversations. "It's great to meet you, Rahul, Aman, or anything." Or, "So, Rahul, how long have you lived here?" This physically repeats the sound waves in your vocal cords, locking it into your short-term memory. Another method is mental canvas, the visual anchor. In your mind, associate their faces with exaggerated image of someone else you already know that with that exact same name. Think about the difference this makes. Most people walk into an office, pass the security guard or the receptionist and treat them like moving furniture. They might say a polite hello, but it's completely hollow. But imagine the person who walks in, looks at the security guard's badge and says, "Good morning, David." 2 weeks later, they walk back in and say, "How's it going, David?" To David, that name is the sweetest and most important sound in any language. By speaking it, you have validated his entire existence in a busy world. Who do you think David is going to help when there is an emergency? Who is he going to open the door for? Carnegie tells the story of a man named Ken Dyke, who was corporate executive. Dyke was trying to get a stubborn, busy cafeteria worker to cooperate with a new system. She always refused and grumbled. One day he walked in, observed her name tag and said, "Good morning, Mary." Then he took a genuine interest in her work. Maria completely transformed. She went from being a hostile roadblock to the most helpful person in the entire building. All because someone recognized the magic syllable of her identity. Look, you can read all the business books in the world, you can learn all the advanced precautions, tactics, but if you treat people's name like throwaway data, you will always be operating at a massive disadvantage. You are leaving human connections on the table, so let's make a deal right now. The very next time you buy a coffee or walk into a shop or jump into a meeting, look for a name tag or listen intently when they introduce themselves. Stamp that name into your mind using the steps we talked about. Use it before you say goodbye. Watch how their shoulders drop, how their eyes open up, and how they instantly decide they are someone worth liking. Because remember, a person's name is, to that person, the sweetest and most important sound in any language. Don't head for trouble.